In this section, we are going to be using JSON Web Tokens to handle authorization on our website. So before we get started, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of authentication versus authorization. So with JSON Web Tokens, just explain what that if you are not familiar with it, and talk about how we are going to apply this into our website. So authentication is the first step in this process, and this is where we find out who a user is. So the user is going to submit their username, email, and password. We'll send it to the backend, and we just authenticate this user, get back the user's information, and now we know the user. Now authorization is where we decide what a user can do on our website, what pages they can visit, and what routes they can access in our API. So one example I can think of here is going to be our user versus customer. So a customer should sign in, they can see their own profile, they can see their own orders, but when they try to go to, let's say, an admin level page, they should be restricted because they don't have the authorization to see it. So we don't want a customer seeing, let's say, our product. We don't want a customer updating our products, make changes. So we want to restrict them and block their authorization. And we are going to do all of this with JSON Web Tokens. So this is a website I just pulled up, JWT.io. So this here is an example of a JSON Web Token. So this will be in here when you go here. So go ahead and just scroll down, and a JSON Web Token, if I can give you my best explanation, is just encoded data about a user. So this token right here outputs this user information. So this is encoded, and then we just decide decode it. Okay, we can see the algorithm used to encode it, the type of token, which is JWT. We can see the username, that's John Doe, and when this token expires. So these tokens will typically have a lifespan. Okay, they will be stored somewhere in I'm going to store them in local storage, but you can store them in your cookies anywhere in your browser. What we need to do is send this token on each request, and user information will be sent to the uh, backend with this token. And then what way we can either authenticate or restrict a user using that way. So what I am going to do is actually put this inside of local storage. So let me give you a quick example of how this is going to work. So I'm going to jump ahead here and go to my live demo. So I'm not going to go into where this is at. I might show the URL or not, I'm not sure. But what I want to do here is, once we have this setup, so you are not going to have this route just yet. We are going to build this out in the next couple of videos here. But with this route, we can type in our username and our password. We'll hit go here. So we'll hit that post request. This is going to send a request to get the user with that username and password, and we are going to get uh, back user information along with the token. So this token right here is what we are going to be using. So if I take this token, we are just going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in over this old token. So I will just remove that and add it in right here. So if we look right here, we can see the expiration date. So the expiration date and expires in 30 days. And we also see the user ID with the token type and other information here. So we can see that this user ID right here is 1. So we are getting that information and we can customize what this response will say. So we are taking this token and I will go to the live demo now. I'm going to sign in with this same user. So if I go to inspect right here, if I go to application, we can see we have nothing in local storage. So if I submit that this request is actually going to this route right here, we are going to send it to this route. So we are getting back this token and let me go back to the website. We are taking that token in that response and we are going to add it to local storage so we can see uh, this token right here, and this token is now stored here as long as the user is logged in. So now that I'm logged in, I'm an admin, so I have full permission to see admin level pages here, and I have full access to the website, so I can go into my products here. I can modify a product and make changes, and that's all happening because of that token. So every time I make a request here, that token is being sent in my headers. So we are sending it on every request, and that's how we find out if a user can see this page or not. So that's being sent on every single git post or put request that I'm sending, and we are authenticating the user using this token. So again, a token is just encrypted data on our user. We stored it in our cookies, in our local storage, or whatever way you want to store it. We send it on every single post request or on every single request with our API. And in the backend, we will receive this token, and that's how we know is a user allowed to see this or not. If a user is not allowed to see this page, we'll just send back a request saying you are not authenticated. So I'm going to try that. So I will go to another route that we are going to have. So I will just go to my website and let's just go to get our users. So if I just go to API /users, so users like that, if I go here, we can see that I'm not authenticated to see it. So I am going to have to use Postman. Here, if I wanted to show you the demo, but we will take that token and send it here. And then if that token allowed it, we would get it. So I don't want to repeat myself too much. I'm already doing that, but that's the best explanation I can give you right now. We'll start seeing it once we start using it, and you will see how we send this in our headers. So let's go ahead and just jump into the next video.